Sam Marshall shares uplifting stories and conversations with people making Johannesburg and the world a better place.
We continue our conversations. Good morning to you. It is the thing that we do on radio. It's kind of podcasty, right? We have conversations with amazing people that are doing amazing things to build this country we call South Africa. And today is no different. We are at work. And on the line now, I'm talking to a visionary. I'm going to call her a visionary because I think that's what she is. Samantha Singh, founder and director of Fluid Intellect. She's talking to us about this upcoming AI-driven webinar that's going to be a game changer for youth-owned business. Now, if you don't know this, but Fluid Intellect is a leader in AI-driven business solutions, and they've announced a generative AI for youth-owned business webinar and competition. Founder is on the line, Samantha Singh. Samantha, good morning. How are you doing?
Morning, Sam. I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
Yeah, you know, I'm fortunate, Samantha, that I get to speak to super smart people, right? I don't know what other people's lives are like, but I get to really speak to the cream of the crop, the kind of people that are focused on changing the lives of others, and that always makes me feel really, really good. For those that don't know, just tell us a little bit before we talk about this amazing opportunity that you've created for young people, for youth-owned businesses. Just put us in the picture again around the organization itself, Fluid Intellect.
Thanks, Sam. So Fluid Intellect is a proudly South African company. We focus on building the digital economy in South Africa. We also really focused on building AI products and getting South African businesses to just thrive in this digital economy. We've got a strong focus on, being game changers in the country where we are building our own AI products and not just being consumers of AI technologies from other parts of the world. So, we're a very youthful company. We employ youth from graduates from the Tshwane University of Technology, a strong focus on youth enablement, just looking, future focused and putting down the building blocks to start, just improving our South African landscape by giving our young people the opportunity to grow.
And I can only imagine that when you build AI for an African mindset, I mean, obviously people will say, well, AI, the LLMs, they're quite adaptive. But you're building AI that understands the way Africans think, the way we engage, the way we do business, to a large degree, maybe even our shortcomings. You're building tools that are predictive in all of those spaces.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we may not have pioneered the technology, but we have definitely mastered it for our economy, for our cultures, and to solve our problems. So we've got a strong focus on understanding the challenges that South African businesses face. And, through our experience with working with corporates in the country, we understand exactly, what the shortcomings are and how we want to address those. So we're mastering these technologies, and although some of them, they are already LLMs, etc., in place, but they have to still be trained. They still have to be built to integrate with systems and be able to give these insights and predictions, as you've rightfully said.
Yeah.
So that's what we do.
Samantha, it's quite interesting. We've just come out of Youth Month, right? Because you obviously, as an organization, you empower a lot of young people. Even the co-collaborators, working staff, they're made out of the brightest Africans, South Africans that you can find. And I know you're a thought leader in the space as well. So we've just come out of Youth Month. We're now on the first day of Mandela Month, right, where organizations, and this is obviously how you're giving back through not just the webinar, but this competition, which we'll be speaking about in a couple of minutes. And then we go into Women's Month. So this is a very busy 3 months for you as an organization. As you share your expertise, you kind of drive this brand South Africa forward in being a proudly South African brand. How do you reflect on Youth Month, Mandela Month, and Women's Month kind of being back to back?
I think Sam, it's an opportunity for us because our core focus is on all three. So we've got a strong focus on our youth. With the Tshwane University of Technology partnership that we have, we are, although it should have taken place maybe during the Youth Month, but it's going to be taking place closer to Mandela Day, where we're going to have the youth showcasing some of their projects. We are actually in the process of launching our third AI product. We've got three at the moment, and we're launching our third product, which was also co-built by students from the university. So these 3 months back to back gives us such a platform to just, exhibit and empower the youth, but also the foundation of what Fluid is built on, which is hashtag Tech for Good. We're not just looking at, capitalizing on the benefits of bleeding edge technologies, but we're focused on using these technologies to drive the economy further, to upskill individuals, and for us to actually participate in this new global economy
Yeah, I
that we've
love
got.
that.
The playing field is quite level. And then obviously with Women's Month, being a woman-owned business and being a strong advocate of female empowerment, it's another huge opportunity for us to showcase what we're doing and how we're doing it. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
it's amazing opportunities.
and so tomorrow you're launching what?
So we're launching this webinar where we are going to be doing a demo to young entrepreneurs in the country, where we want to give them a demonstration of our product Satori and help them to understand how generative AI can help them drive their businesses forward, help them to understand the technology, to see it in action, and hopefully inspire ideas and get them to understand how they should participate using these technologies, especially the South African homegrown product Satori.
And
So yes.
yeah, and for me, which is quite an interesting thing, I am, obviously like you, I work with young people. And I am sometimes surprised that we believe that young people are on the cutting edge of technology, but they're not. There's still fundamental limitations that young people have in terms of access, creating opportunities. And I think that's why this webinar is such an important tool to start we've closed off a youth month, but obviously for the rest of the year, and we're in Mandela month where corporates generally give back and they take on these massive projects to empower. And it's amazing for me how there's still this kind of skills understanding, lack of knowledge, and these kind of webinars are critical to bridge that.
Yes. Yeah, I think this technology is so new. It's bleeding edge technology, and although it's been around for a while, the consumption and the usage of the technology is still quite new, especially in the South African and the African context. So, people will release this technology out into the world and say, use it. And then typically you have to try and figure out for yourself the same way as we did with the likes of Excel or Word or PowerPoint,
Yes.
etc. You've got to figure out how do you make this work for you. But with the potential that these technologies offer to in not just individuals to businesses, it would be a shame if you weren't given the opportunity to understand in just a little bit more depth the opportunities that exist with them. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're hosting this webinar is for young entrepreneurs to understand how to hop onto this technology, but to capitalize on the opportunities that it presents to you as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, how to gain insights, how to make predictions, how to grow your business using information and insights that you wouldn't typically have had if you didn't use these technologies.
I remember you presented or you took us through Satori. And one of the things that came to my mind was that, and I see it a lot on Instagram at the moment, where people are talking about AI is more than just writing emails. And so even with the availability of the technology, we're really not deep diving into its capability. And that's why I think this webinar is so important as well. Because if you only scratch the surface and you stay in that space, you cannot unlock the full potential of what this tool, what this model, what this machine can do. And so it's important to be able to understand its capability so that you can actually totally be able to benefit from its uses.
Yes, absolutely. There's so much more beneath the surface. There's so much more to understand. It's evolving daily. This technology is evolving faster than most technologies we've seen. And while it doesn't help anybody to try and keep up with every single innovation, what does help is to get a solid and in-depth understanding of the capabilities and how to maximize on what it offers you. You can't use everything. You can't, no organization is going to use every single AI technology that's out there. But getting an understanding of how it can add value is the gap, because ChatGPT is out there. On WhatsApp, you've got your Llama 4 now that Meta has released.
Yes.
But if you don't understand, you can ask some random questions and get some answers. But if you don't understand how to get actual value out of these technologies, then you're basically just using it like you would use social media, or Google.
Yeah, and that's what I love about this. And in actual fact, if you are, I'm encouraging, whether you are listening now or you're the parent or the uncle of a young person who's either in business or going through university or whatever, this webinar is really going to open up your mind to what Satori can actually do and how it can change your business. And that's what I really love, because it's going to look, for example, at automation of tasks and how it will boost efficiency, and that includes instant report generation, data analysis. It'll enhance your creativity and operation with real-world case studies, which is always important. And then it's going to provide affordable, ethical AI solutions for small businesses. And this, I believe, is going to change. It's going to change the trajectory of your business if you understand what this tool means for your small business.
Yes.
I love it. It sounds absolutely great. The other thing that you're also doing on the back of that, Samantha, is you're also launching a competition for youth-owned business.
Yes, absolutely, Sam, we are. And the prize for the competition is a one-on-one strategy session with myself. If you go to the website, you'll see that strategic alignment, etc., is something that I specialize in.
Yes.
So we will be helping the winner with a strategy session in their business and how to, design for AI capability, etc. In addition to that, there'll be a featured spotlight across our socials. So we will showcase the winner and their business and the work that we're doing with them across social media, and then exclusive networking passes, invites to our elite events, and additional webinars with industry leaders.
Oh, that's amazing, because then what you're providing through this competition is you're providing access, and that all businesses need access.
Yes.
That's great. Samantha, where can people go to find out more about the webinar details, which I encourage everybody who's listening to us? We'll put this on social TV as well, and we'll run it across our platforms. We think it's an amazing opportunity for young people. Where can people go to find out about the webinar, and where can they access the details for the competition?
So if they go to the Fluid Intellect Facebook page, Fluid Intellect Instagram, or Fluid Intellect LinkedIn, the details will be displayed on all of our social media. We don't have it up on our website, but it is available on our social media platforms.
That's amazing. Samantha Singh, always a pleasure talking to you. And yeah, what a great initiative, a AI webinar that young people can access. It launches officially tomorrow. Go to their social media platforms and go and access the information there. The details for the competition will also be there. And as Samantha Singh was saying, what you will get, this is really valuable. You're going to get a one-on-one mentorship session for your business. And what Fluid will do is provide access to networks, industry, events, and they'll develop a strategy for your business. I cannot imagine anything more amazing in 2025. Samantha Singh, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Sam. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure talking to you. So that's the founder. What a great, I love it when people just think of practical ways to build other people. I just love the practicality of it. Instead of doing all these weird little things, it's all about how do we build your business so that you can thrive and employ more people. And I think that is phenomenal. So go to Fluid Intellect, go to their social media platforms, find out more about the webinar, sign up. Get your young person in your life. And when I mean young, I don't mean 13. I mean the young person who started a business, the young person who's thinking about starting a business, the young person who's in university, who's coming out, who potentially have a business. And even for yourself, if you want to understand a little bit more about how AI, especially Satori, is changing the game. And let me spell Satori for you, which you can also find out more. You don't have to wait for the webinar. It's Satori. Satori, and that's a fantastic tool built in South Africa by a woman-led business, proudly South African for the South African market. And you know our thing, it's always we need to support local because local is lekker. It also happens to be the launch of Mandela Month, which on the 18th of July, corporates do what they need to. But the entire month we reflect on the impact we can have on others. And I love these kind of initiatives because they actually, in actual fact, have an impact on others.